So in this video I'm going to cover how to use the Adafruit Circuit Playground Express and a flex sensor with Makecode to, at the moment, change the lights on this guy, although it's flashing because no sensor's connected. Okay, so I've got a breadboard here and a flex sensor plugged in to it. Now the first thing I'm going to do is going to put in jumpers for the power. And I'll connect that bit up in a moment. And also going to put in a jumper cable which will go to one of the inputs, one of the analog inputs on the CPX. I've got a 10K resistor here and I'm putting that from the same row as the same output as what will go to the analog input, and I'm putting that into the positive side of the power. So it's a pull-up resistor, and this is what makes it work as a voltage divider. Okay, and now I'm going to connect the other side of the sensor, not there, there we go, to ground. And let's add it to the CPX. Well, and okay, it's working now. I had to switch up breadboards. I think the breadboard I was using, I hadn't tested it on. It's a pretty old one. So here we go, nice new big breadboard. So now when I bend the sensor, you can see the color changes up to red and then back to center green and then around to purple. I'll turn the light off and show you. So I'm changing the hue values. Okay, so the first thing you want to do is you want to grab a forever loop. And you want to create a variable. Now I've already created some variables here, but to make a new variable you click on make a variable and type the variable name. The first variable you should create is called bend sensor. I've already created that, so I won't do it again. And once you create it, it will appear here, and it will also appear, you'll get this set item and change item. So I'm going to grab set item, and I'm going to set the variable I created called bend sensor to, and I'll go to the pins section. That might be hid for you under the advanced section, so grab the pins, and then you want analog read pin A1. I've used pin A1 on the Circuit Playground Express. You can use any of these pins for analog read. Okay, so that now stores the continually updates bend sensor variable to whatever value the bend sensor is sending. Now the next thing I want to do is I want to set some lights. So what I want to do is I want to set all pixels and then go back to light and choose this hue saturation value. And so this is your hue. I think you might have seen this in Photoshop. When you're choosing colors, you can choose RGB or you can choose hue saturation value, HSV. And your hue here is what color it is, ranging from all through the rainbow and then starting again. The saturation is the amount of saturation, so putting this down to 0 will make it white. And then the value is the brightness. I think it means value. Anyway, so set all your pixels to this. And instead of the hue value here, so if we just play this, you can see it's red. If I change it to, okay, here we go. What we're going to do is we're going to make it cycle. There we go. So what we want is we want bend sensor to be setting the hue. But right now bend sensor is giving us a range of all sorts of numbers. And I'm just going to download now. Oh, that's not plugged in. Okay, I'll just try that again. And all my pixels are kind of a bluey turquoise color. Okay, so so what we want to do now is we want to graph the bend sensor, and this is a way which lets us see what actual inputs we're getting from this. So I want to graph, and I want to grab the bend sensor variable and put it in here. Now what happens then, you can see it says show console simulator, but because I've got the Windows app, I can download it straight to the Circuit Playground Express, and then I can show the console device. And this is giving me a reading from the flex sensor now. You can see not much is happening. It's between 650 and 685. I just accidentally touched it a bit there. And now see what happens. I'll run it forwards and backwards, and I can see what range I can get. So take note of these values, which is 545, let's say 550, and 892 or 890. So 550 and 890. Now what we're going to do is create another sensor. So we're going to create, just had to write that down. We're going to create another variable, and we're going to, I've already done this one as well, call it bend mapped. And we're going to grab the set again, and we're going to go set bend mapped. And what bend mapped is going to be the value that's coming in from this analog read pin, which was 550 to 980, I hope, or 890, I think. And so I go to the map, which I'm not sure where it is, so I'm just going to do this. Oh yeah, that's their maths. So, and what do I want to map? I want to map bend sensor. So I'm mapping the bend sensor value from the lowest value it had, which was 550, roughly, to the highest value it had, which was 890. And I want it to output a range between 0 and 255, which is the range you can do with hue. It's from 0 to 255. And then instead of graphing bend sensor, I'll get rid of that. I want to set all the pixels to this hue of 255, 255, 255, and the hue value is what I want to become variable. So I'll add this bend mapped variable here, and so now the hue, instead of I'll just pull this out of here for a sec. Instead of ranging from 255 to 0, it's going to range whatever is coming from the sensor, which is called, in a variable called bend mapped, which is bend sensor mapped, so from a low of 0 to a high of 255. And so that's how we get the full rainbow. And I'll just download that.